Welcome to Powur University, where today we're going to go over just general Powur Quality Assurance requirements. So the best thing that you can really do to make sure that you get good quality assurance evaluation scores and limit requests for rework is have your installation crews use site capture as an app in the field, sort of as it's designed. Now, as in August 2024, that's going to include every job that is not funded by Sunnova. Sunnova is going to be using that Sunnova Catalyst app moving forward. Looks like maybe some of our other third-party owned providers may start moving that direction. But as of now, anything other than Sunnova will use site capture, and you'll want to use that Powur installation complete template on site capture. That is going to give your installers clues and triggers on exactly what we need and things they need to do before they leave the site to ensure that everything's going to pass with flying colors when the quality assurance evaluation comes. So we've got documents on knowledge base exactly on how to use it, but essentially every crew will have their own login. Each member will all log in. They'll document their specific area of the installation throughout the day, and at the end of the day they're going to check for any missing photos or blurry photos or any requirements that haven't been answered before they leave the job site. And that just ensures you won't have to make a return trip. So next thing we're always looking for is preventing roof leaks and preventing defective installations from ending up in the O&M department. So we're really going to be focused on those rooftop junction boxes being flashed correctly, conduit penetrations being flashed correctly. On tile roofs, this is really important. We want a two-tier flashing method. Easy Solar makes a great all-in-one junction box that both gets flashed at the decking level and gets flashed at the tile level. We really recommend that product. Otherwise, if you just want to use a standard conduit flashing, we'll again require one at the decking level and then an additional conduit flashing at the tile level for any conduit penetrations on a tile roof. Now that decking level one, that can just be flashing tape, whatever the case may be, but we just want to ensure that if water gets past the tiles, that there's a second form of flashing at the decking level. Roof attachments, as simple as it seems, just make sure the roof attachments are rated for the roof they're being installed on and that they're installed per the manufacturer's recommendations. Commissioning system and web monitoring access issues. This is a massive amount of rework here at Powur, and this one simple thing could improve your scores dramatically. We suggest laminating a copy of the Powur web monitoring SOP, keeping it in every van, and that way your on-site technicians know exactly what they need to do for every system that Powur offers in order to make sure the proper financier and that Powur has access to the web monitoring and that everything's good to go before they leave the site. Again, if somebody marks an installation complete and we can't click on that monitoring link, pull up perfect, accurate production and consumption data, all equipment registered, confidently say everything is fully installed and functional, you're going to fail the quality assurance evaluation, and our financiers are also going to fail to fund the project until that happens. CT installation. Again, we covered this in a lot of the storage videos, so I'm not going to cover it too much, but man, this is a huge amount of rework here at Powur. We also recommend laminating that CT field guide and keeping a copy in every van, and that way, again, every time your technicians are on site, if they have any questions on how the CTs need to be installed on any specific system, they've got a quick go-to guide with some nice pretty pictures and clear instructions on how they need to install those CTs. Stick to the approved design. This is huge. Hey, we're not perfect. Maybe Powur designed it, and there very well might be some issues there. The general guidance is always stick to that approved design. If for any reason you need to make some kind of on-site change, go to powur.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, find that chat function, say I'm an installer, pick the design team to chat, tell them what's going on, that you need a design revision, and that way they can approve on it and sign off on it so that you know you're not going to be sent back to change the installation. And two, so that for these financiers like Sunnova or Everbright, they need that design to match the installation exactly. And so that's going to ensure the design team knows the revisions. They're going to draft up a revised design, and it's going to be waiting there along with your installation photos when you go to mark that installation complete, which again is going to ensure that you don't get finance rejections from our providers like Sonova. Backed up loads not to exceed the battery capabilities. That's a huge one, right? If we're backing up loads, we need to make sure the batteries can actually back them up so that during an outage, the system functions. The best rule of thumb is take a look at that battery breaker. Let's assume it's 2 N-phase batteries, right? That's 40 amps worth of battery breakers. Well, that means you can't have a single breaker in the backup panel larger than 40 amps. Let's go with Powerwall 3, right? That's a 60 amp backfed breaker for that battery. That just means we can't have a single load in the backup panel that exceeds 60 amps. Let's go with 1 N-phase battery. That's 20 amps, right? That means just a small sub panel of 15 and 20 amp circuits. No loads that exceed 20 amps in that backup panel. Pretty good rule of thumb. Rework queues on OS. Hey, we all are going to get rework. It is a part of life. We want to drastically reduce it and drastically reduce the amount of truck rolls that you have to make back to the site. We know this costs you money. We don't enjoy sending you back, but it is going to occasionally happen. So all we ask is that when it does happen, those rework requests are going to be in OS. They're going to be divided between a quality assurance rework request and a lending partner rework request. But either way, we just ask that when you get rework, you read the queues, you go out, address it as quickly as possible, you upload documentation that it's complete through site capture or through Catalyst, depending on the scenario, and just get that rework knocked out as quick as possible. Again, rework resolution rate is another factor that we look at as far as overall install quality. So if those rework requests sit for weeks or months on end, that's going to drastically negatively affect your quality scores. Lastly, we've got the LIRA program. If you do get rework requests from the QA/QC team, you have any questions or you just don't want to make multiple trips, sign up for a LIRA. We've got a Google Calendar invite. You click on the link, you basically fill out a form and choose your time slot, and then one of the quality control members can jump on a Google Meet with your on-site technicians once they're completed all the work, have it all documented in site capture, kind of schedule that LIRA for the time you think everything's going to be wrapped up and ready to take a look at. We'll jump on a Google Meet. We'll run through the list. We'll look at all the photos. We can go through and test the CTs, look at the online readings, and kind of remotely say, all right, we're good here. We're signing off on this. And that way, at least you know all the rework's going to be done on the second trip, and you're not going to have to make multiple return trips after that. That pretty much covers it. I really appreciate all of you. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or concerns.